This is the Hindu's book on Srivilliputhur, the town that everybody knows is associated with Andal. There are two temples in Srivilliputhur. The older of them is the Vatapatrasayee temple, and the Andal temple came later. Andal, as everyone knows, is the author of the Tirupavai, and the Tirupavai is rich in symbolic meanings, many of which are captured in an article in this book. She also had a dream about marrying Lord Ranganatha, and she portrayed her dream very vividly through her Varanamayiram verses. The interesting thing about the Varanamayiram verses is that every ritual that is described in the Grihya Sutras finds a place in her verses, and the book has some very beautiful illustrations which portray every ritual in a traditional Hindu wedding. Apart from rituals and festivals and all the specialities associated with the temple, there are also some very interesting articles, not necessarily about the temple, but about Srivilliputhur. One of them is about a very old library in Srivilliputhur. It's called the Pennington Library, and it's older than the Connemara Library in Madras. It's a place to which students from around Srivilliputhur come to refer to the books there in their excellent reference section, because these students are preparing for the civil service examination. There's also a school there which produced some excellent scientists, bureaucrats, doctors, and one of the persons who studied there was Dr. K.S. Krishnan, who was an associate of C.V. Raman, Nobel Prize winner. And K.S. Krishnan, apart from being a physicist, was also deeply interested in Sanskrit and Tamil literature. And he could quote from the Puranas, from the Itihasas, and from the Divya Prabandham of the Alvars. Produced industrialists like Ramaswamy Raja. Kumaraswamy Raja, who was Chief Minister of Madras for some time, was also from this school. And Dr. Ramaswamy, scientist, he's also from this school. So this school was initially operating from a small mandapam which belonged to the Andal temple, and it had very few pupils to start with. But as time went on, the school expanded, and it had its own building, and it still continues to function and still continues to produce very good students. So that's another article about Srivilliputhur that is there in this book. There's also a very significant military tradition in villages around Srivilliputhur. There's a village called Perumal Tevanpatti, and most of the youngsters there want to go to the army. So they spend weekends training. They're given training by retired military personnel who belong to the village. And of course, Srivilliputhur also reminds us of its famous Palgova. There's an article on the Palgova also in this book. This book has everything that you want to know about Srivilliputhur. It's a go-to book for anyone who wants to know anything about Srivilliputhur.